I have now accepted. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Entaro Adun. This is CJ from Gamefront, and tonight we'll be streaming some Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm show matches. Joining me tonight is Joe from Clan Ta, and he'll be co-casting and co-commentating some show matches between some members of Clan Ta. We'd like to remind our viewers that we've been streaming all week and having contest giveaways. Tonight's contest, the prize is a free Gamefront t-shirt. Tomorrow, our final day of streaming, the grand prize will be a free copy of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. Tonight's prize entails coming up with a unique quote for a Starcraft 2 unit. We've all clicked on the units, we've all heard what they say, and we know that when we click on them a lot, they say some pretty funny stuff. So, come up with something cool, something funny. Let us know what unit it is should be attributed to, and we'll pick our favorite, and that'll be our winner. We're presently getting our first show match set up, and Joe, would you like to tell us who is playing?
We're going to have the commander of Ta, Starcraft, Angel of Sin, playing against the former commander of Ta, Starcraft, Sniper. So he's currently a League of Legends player, so he's come out of retirement to come play Angel, so it should be a good game.
Sounds like a grudge match in the making.
Angel is normally a Terran, Zerg player. He'll be playing Terran tonight, and Sniper is a Zerg player. So we didn't want to have a Zerg versus Zerg matchup, so Angel is going off race.
Should be an interesting game.
I'm hoping so. We've definitely seen the game change a lot with Heart of the Swarm. In Wings of Liberty, Zerg play was much more passive, expanded to 3 bases and massed up units by droning early on to get that income, and then you fought. With the new aggressive units that have been put into Heart of the Swarm, Terran is able to apply pressure with the Widow Mine, and the the Hellion can now transform into the Hellbat, which is also a very good anti-Zerg weapon. So Zerg has to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more aware of what Terran's doing, and can't be greedy, unfortunately.
Say what you will about the Hellbat, I still miss my Firebats.
Well, Firebat was a great Brood War unit. We saw it almost only used in the pro scene by in Zerg versus Terran. So the Hellbat is definitely an upgraded version. It does a little bit more damage comparatively. It's a lot faster, given the fact it can transform. It's a little bit more versatile than the Firebat was, and that's a positive thing, because there really wasn't any effect to stimming a Firebat. So it was a slow, plodding unit, and the Hellbat makes for some interesting combat.
It looks like our players are ready to get their first game started. I believe we're making this a best of 3 series. First map taking place on Newkirk Precinct. Is this a new map? I'm not familiar with the name.
Newkirk Precinct is one of the newer maps, and once we get in game, we'll talk about some of the newer features that we're seeing in most of the newer maps. And here's our countdown. If any of you ever had a GameCube, you will recognize this map because it is shaped like a GameCube controller.
That is an astute observation. What does the Terran Zerg metagame look like at this stage, this fresh stage of Heart of the Swarm?
It's still changing very quickly, but we're definitely seeing a lot of drop play. The emergency booster feature that medevacs now have allows it to accelerate very rapidly. I'm reasonably confident we're going to see that on this map. As you see, it is a much closer air path than it is a ground path, so Terran will be able to bring in some aggressive drops, especially if they go for the Hellbat. The Hellbat drops in the mineral line are just amazingly effective. One of the interesting features, if you look at the third, I will ping it for you. You'll see there are rocks here. If you look at the ramp, there's also a this structure. If you shoot at it and destroy it, it will fall over and create a wall that can't be that you have to break down again. So that's one of the newer features in this app. But we'll see. Zerg is scouting just because they need to know if Terran is going to go early mech. One of the things that Zerg is going to look for is Zerg's going to look and see, okay, is gas down? Because if gas is down early, that means we're going to have some Reaper pressure. And the Reaper expand is very, very effective currently because the Reaper's a fast unit. You can get in there, you can do a little damage sometimes, but more importantly, you get the best scouting you possibly can. And Zerg has unfortunately expanded first, so if the Reaper pressure is going to be applied, it is going to be very effective. And sure enough, the gas is down, so we'll see what's going to happen.
And just to make sure that we have introduced our players, we have in the bottom right corner in the red trunks, Angel of Sin, and in the bottom left corner, in the green trunks, Sniper.
Alright, he's putting out two Marines, so he's worried about pressure. That's unfortunate. Really done well if you do that Reaper expand. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Zerg has a fast gas down, so I'm reasonably confident that he's going to be going some Speedling pressure. Speedling pressure, not quite as effective in Heart of the Swarm, but we'll just see if Terran is unprepared. It can be a killing blow very quickly.
Now, in the matches that we cast last night, we saw the Widow Mines put to excellent effect, shutting down an expansion. Do Zerg players know how to react to Widow Mines yet?
Widow Mines, they're kind of interesting. They're technically cloaked when they're underground, but you can still see them. You can't shoot them, but you can see them. So if you do see the Widow Mines in play, you just know to get an observer over it, and you'll be okay. And the nice thing about Zerg is we saw this a lot in Zerg versus Protoss. If Protoss puts down a pylon or does some cannon shenanigans in one of the Zerg expansions, Zerg, because it's such a fast, malleable race, they can just expand somewhere else. So if a Terran puts down a Widow Mine in expansion, just take another expansion. Unfortunately, Terran is doing about the worst build you could do against Zergling play, so this is not looking good.
It looks like Angel of Sin is getting an expansion of his own and building an engineering bay. What kind of tech could he be going with that Engie?
Well, given the fact he has two barracks down, he's going to go bio-heavy. When they say bio-heavy, that's generally going to be Marines, Marauders, and eventually Medevac. It's very mobile, it's very fast, and it's an effective play and we saw a lot of it in Wings of Liberty. One of the nice things about the newer units that Terran was presented is they're all mech units. So we're seeing a lot more mech play. So far Terran is playing this game like it is Wings of Liberty. There's no deviation showing any kind of Heart of the Swarm influence yet.
Well, if my understanding is correct, Angel of Sin has not had much beta experience, whereas Sniper has. How do you think that will play into this matchup?
We're going to see very quickly because the Speedlings are now coming out, and the Speedlings managed to get by these bio units. They're going to do massive damage in the mineral line. And you see Terran. Fortunately for Angel of Sin, the Zerglings did kill him, because if they'd gone straight from the mineral line, it would have been bad. But this game is unfortunately over.
If you were Angel right now, what is the Hail Mary play that you can do to salvage this game right now?
You could pull all of your SUVs to kill off these Zerglings, but he has not done that. He kind of kept them separated. And Morlings, he's not making Morlings. Sniper is he's expanded behind this. He's building some drones. So he's in no rush to finish him off. But the massive advantage. If you look at the income differential right now, Zerg is massively ahead with 50 harvesters to 19.
That is an advantage even OP mules cannot overcome.
Yeah, he needs to get walled off quickly as possible, and that's what he's trying to do. But in this case, your only hope in this case is that Zerg is just going to drone up and not attack. So he should build no combat units at all and spend all of his money building economy. Unfortunately, he's continuing to build Marines. We'll just see what happens.
We can see that the income is beginning to stabilize, at least with regards to, or equalize rather, with regards to minerals.
Yeah, it's only the mules, but with Zerg getting so much more gas, Zerg is going to have so many additional tech options, to move up into additional tiers, as well as building those higher tier units that do require gas. The third base is now half saturated. The way it works with workers on a base is if you have 2 workers per mineral patch, you're getting optimal income. When you put that third worker on that mineral patch, that third worker is only getting about 50% of what those first 2 workers are getting. That's how the math comes out, about on average. So he's already got 12 workers on the mineral patch, so he's getting a lot of income. He's going to be able to build a very robust army. And now you see he's put down a 4th and is now putting out the heavier duty roaches. Sniper is scouting properly just to make sure Angel doesn't have an extra base anywhere. Given the units that were pushed out, it would be very unlikely that Terran would have an extra base, but this is a mistake that is even made on the diamond level, let alone platinum, gold, silver, or bronze, is that you get ahead, but you don't realize your opponent has a base, and then when you discover that's in all the miners there, it's just your heart sinks.
And looks like Sniper has recognized that he does have a significant advantage, is going ahead to expand again. Angel trying to make something happen with that Widow Mine defensively. But Sniper has total map control presently.
Possibly some undefended medevac drops could get Terran back in this game. But if you look in the home base, the infestation pit, he's making Hydralisks, he's just running the gamut with the different abilities. And now he's even morphing Overseers just in case Cloaked Banshees are coming. He's trying to cover all his bases. If you look at where the Overlords are actually placed along the south and the middle, there's no way a medevac can actually even fly over without being detected first well in advance.
Sniper clearly trying to keep his options open, and those Widow Mines will be dealt with promptly now that he has that Overseer out. In fact, the Overseer was likely a response to seeing that first Widow Mine right outside Sniper's base, so that one Zergling that he lost was definitely cost effective.
Yeah. Zerg's army is getting very scary. He's got it in his second expansion. He's massing there. That gives him a forward enough position to engage if Terran pushes on the watchtower, but it's not too forward so that he can retreat in the case of medevac detection. And you see these Zerglings in the top right corner. Those Zerglings are there for if Terran pushes out too far, those Zerglings can then run in and harass the mineral line again, which is very effective.
One thing I was hoping to see from a high-level Zerg player was better creep spread. I'm actually surprised that we're really not seeing much of that.
Creep spread, believe it or not, is not as important in the expansion, just because the Hydralisks have the speed upgrade now to go along with the Roach's speed upgrade. So as you see, the Hydralisks are almost keeping up with the Roaches.
I was not aware of that upgrade. Is that a base upgrade, or is it something that he has to research?
You do have to pay for it. Where before you just had the range increase for Hydralisk, you now have a speed increase for Hydralisk, which is actually making the Hydralisk a very, very effective tool, to the point where Blizzard has publicly said that that's one of the units that they're watching, sure that there isn't any kind of imbalance. And the top left, that lone Marine is fighting his heart out. We have our engagement. Terran is doing a lot more damage than they should be able to, because Zerg's forces weren't paying attention and they went piecemeal. So Terran with this army, they're in very good shape. He's gonna drop. He may drop into the main. No, he's gonna go take out expansions.
It looked like in that confrontation that Sniper actually had the better concave. I was noticing those Marauders at the back were just milling about, not getting any shots, and very surprised at the outcome of that battle.
Yes, Zerg had a better cave, but Zerg was not actively engaging with the army. That one lone Marine that was fighting in the top left distracted Sniper long enough for that force to do its damage. We have the double drop coming in, which is going to be very effective. You see Zerg is pulling back its forces for the drop in the main, and now here comes the drop in the expansion. This drop in the expansion is the one that's going to actually do the damage.
Those Roaches did come in fairly quickly, but I believe we did see a number of worker kills before that happened.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the drop was focusing on the Vespian geyser as opposed to killing the hatchery, so that was a little disappointing.
And Sniper just sent out a group of swarm hosts to the slaughter. Not sure what his plan was there. He lost one, he managed to let the other 5 retreat.
I think he had them queued, and that's the difficulty. It's you know, when the biggest advantage that dropship play gives is that it's very distracting. It's very disconcerting, and so what happens is you're looking all over the map and you're not paying attention to your main army. You're not paying attention to where your units are going, and those mental mistakes help keep Terran in the game. I've seen Terran come back with good drop play in many cases.
Terran running into that siege line.
Yeah, I think Sniper was just trying to... Sniper thought he was ahead enough that he could play around with the new units, and he has allowed Terran to come back into this game, because for the first time, there's the true army supply is catching up. While Zerg is at 200-200, Terran is almost there, and a Terran 200-200 is much scarier than a Zerg 200-200. Let's just see how Terran does this. And Terran is going to try to pick apart Zerg as effectively as possible. Stim's about to wear off, and this army is going to do a lot of damage to him once it does. And there's Terran in retreat.
Do you agree with the army composition that Angel of Sin went with? I hear that mech is a favorite option of Terran players right now in Heart of the Swarm.
Because of the Hellbats mech, very, very popular, but given the fact that this is not Angel of Sin's main race, it is a bit of a transition, trying to do mech play when you're not used to it. Oh, and he does have a couple Hellbats out there, so adorable.
When I saw
And that
the Roach
Zergling,
Hydra army, I was thinking that maybe tanks and Hellbats would have been effective against that.
yes, they would have been, but the amount of time it takes is a little bit longer than the Bio Army, and oh no, Terran is about to get in trouble. If Zerg's going to push and cut apart the little Terran units here. Oh, they needed those Hellbats.
Terran does have the upgrade advantage at 3-3 versus Zerg's 2-2.
That is making a difference, but the DPS put up by the Hydras is keeping Zerg in this. And once again, we have the armies just wiping each other out.
Meanwhile, a drop has snuck in.
Interesting choice for a drop. That's where Zerg has been queuing all of his units, so it's like throwing them away. Terran has finally cleaned up these Hydras, but here comes the reinforcements. And Zerg is reinforcing much faster than Terran is.
Indeed, it seems Angel has very little left to respond to with this.
Angel is only really harvesting off of one base. The first expansion is almost entirely mined out, so his ability to collect resources is just reduced. Zerg is just pushing through and overwhelmed.
Despite his army being crushed, Angel still not slipping up on his macro. Has that worker split that he sent off to his new expansion, where he has a planetary fortress. Should be able to hold up a little while at least, but especially if he has the repairs going. But he just has no army to speak of right now.
And once your enemy starts destroying your unit-producing factories, it is very hard for Terran to get back in. Terran is much stronger the more units it has together, so versus Zerg, and without the ability to group his units together, he's just on his back feet. I was really surprised in the direction that Angel went with in choosing this map. This map is, if you see the narrow point in the middle of the map where the two watchtowers are, it is very common for Terran to siege up there and hold that position and be able to take all of the expansions and really, really give Zerg a hard time with drop play. I was really surprised not to see that. But, you know, it is his off race, but it was a good game.
Good game. Angel throwing up the GG, giving Sniper the win. So Sniper takes round 1 in this best of 3 series. As Joe gets the second match set up, I'll go ahead and remind our viewers about the contest we're having. We have a free Gamefront t-shirt to give away to one winner tonight, and tomorrow afternoon rather we'll be giving out another prize, and that is the big prize for our last day of streaming. Tomorrow's prize, a free collector's edition of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. But again, tonight's is a free Gamefront t-shirt, and for your chance to win, all you have to do is come up with a unit quotation. Whenever you click on a unit, he says a little funny thing. If you click on him a lot, he'll say an even funnier thing. And come up with something that a unit would say. Tell us what unit, give us the quote. Could be funny, could be cool, whatever. We'll pick our favorite, and you'll be our winner. Just type it straight into the stream chat as a comment. Looks like the next map is presently being selected. Because Angel of Sin lost, it is his choice.
And Angel has picked Star Station.
I misread that initially as Star Stallion. That that's a very different name. So what do you think we can expect from this next matchup? Will Angel still be going Terran? Will he be changing up his tactics drastically?
We're going to give him a chance to figure out which one he wants. Star Station is a 4-player map that you do see in 1v1. It has narrow chokes in the middle again, so if he is going Terran, siege tanks are very effective. We will see what he goes with, though. He has picked Protoss, so let's take a look with that. One of the units that's causing a lot of trouble in the lower leagues right now is Oracle. Because it is so fast and it is able to do so much damage to harvesting units, it is a fun unit to pick up. We'll see how Zerg responds to that if we do see the Oracle emerge.
And in the top left corner in the green trunks, we have Angel of Sin playing as Protoss, while his opponent in the orange trunks playing Zerg, Sniper.
Now, the interesting thing about when you have top positions like these across from each other is your rush distance to each other is a little bit shorter, which is going to help Protoss. And you only need to control one tower to really have good vision on that direct path. And believe it or not, if you control two towers, the tower between these two and the tower to the right of each of them, you have total vision of any attacks incoming. There's no way to flank around it. There's no way to move around it. And it even shows a good deal of the airspace. So the advantage that Zerg gets from Overlords covering airspace, as long as Protoss is able to control those towers, they will have a commiserate advantage.
It appears that Angel will be walling up, fairly standard with a small ramp against a Zerg opponent.
Sometimes if you do have the Forge expand as well. I don't know if Angel plays enough. The important thing about a Forge expand is you need to be able to wall off perfectly so your photon cannons can protect you. If you're not familiar with the map, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to figure out the right placements. So by doing this, he's definitely giving himself less grief. And if he is going Oracle, we'll see how quickly he puts down the second gas. He's already got the first gas up. It comes down to how quickly does he have the second gas down.
I believe we saw 14 gas there, which, not saying the only build to come of that could be a 4-gate, but that seems standard for a 4-gate.
Yeah, this does seem to be a 4-gate, given the fact he hasn't put down the second gas yet. So once again, Angel of Sin seems to be playing Wings of Liberty. All of these cool new units that Protoss and Terran were given in order to apply new forms of pressure, we're not seeing.
Sniper expanded, was that around a 17, 16 supply? He definitely got his pool up first.
Yes, he did go pool first this time. He may be concerned about early pressure from Protoss, so by putting down his pool first, he'll be prepared for it.
And there's the chrono on the Cybercore. This is a textbook 4-gate right now.
I can't imagine that he's going anything else. Sniper has not put down gas, so we're not going to see any type of speedling play this time.
And another expand goes down for Sniper. That is a ballsy move.
Oh, this is the standard Zerg opening against a Forge expand, but unfortunately we're not seeing a Forge expand, and the 4-gate is very strong against this because those 300 extra minerals that he put on that second expand expansion could have made drones, and instead of 6 drones that income, he's now going to have a faraway base that he has to defend.
But unfortunately, it seems Angel is not going 4-gate as he built a forge and a gas. This is an interesting build, one I have not seen, I believe.
I have no idea what's going on now at this point. I am puzzled by the forge.
Perhaps Angel was trying to bluff his opponent, but not sure Sniper saw the bluff. Only now coming in to get his scouting information. This is suddenly turning into a forge fast expand, just a forge slow expand.
A 3-gate expand with a forge. I have no idea what we're seeing. Unfortunately, these 3 hatches are going to put Zerg so far ahead if Protoss doesn't apply any pressure. The Mothership Core is one of these great units that Protoss is able to use to apply early pressure with. We're just not seeing that.
Well, we are seeing Angel move out. He might just be going to get a watchtower. Zerg, the only early anti-air Zerg has is really the Queen, so that Mothership Core could float around the map uncontested.
The Mothership Core is a very low damage unit, however. The Mothership Core is a support unit, given the fact it can teleport units back with it to the home base, slow down with the Time Warp ability.
Mothership Core definitely giving the Protoss many more options, allowing Protoss to be more aggressive early game with that recall ability to compensate for the low
running
mobility.
Back away. Oh, he could have pushed in and done some real damage on that expansion.
Well, fortunately for Angel, Sniper has not made much happen with this 3rd base yet. No workers there. Seems he's starting to build... No, roaches from there, not even workers. Perhaps Angel scared Sniper enough that he's going to delay his drone production.
That is one of the advantages of early pressure. It really does force your opponent to respond to it, even if you're not doing anything. Angel's gotten out his series of snow globes in order to build up the energy on it for when he does push. I'm not seeing any warp-in pylons. We're just seeing the first one built. So I think he is going to go for another round of pressure.
Question is, when will Angel notice this 3rd base? One free Stalker kill. Are we going to see a recall?
I hope so. I don't know if he remembers all as a feature. Because he did not use Time Warp either. Slow down those units. I think Angel is just unfamiliar with these units.
There goes the Time Warp.
There's a Time Warp.
Sniper finally getting some drones at this 3rd base. Income actually relatively even right now.
Yes, against Protoss or Terran, Zerg needs to be one base ahead to stay economically even generally.
Meanwhile, Angel grabbing a 3rd of his own, feeling confident enough after fighting off that last push.
You can get away with expanding a little bit more because of the photon overcharge ability. It really is a nice addition for Protoss, enabling them to take 3rds much easier than they used to be. Many maps it was painful for Protoss to take a 3rd, So anything that you can do to help Protoss with that was appreciated.
I'm certainly a big fan of Photon Overcharge. For those that don't know, basically turns your Nexus into a planetary fortress temporarily. A weapon that'll fight off some aggression for you.
I'm not sure what tech path Protoss is taking now.
We see he's got a Robo up, as well as a Twilight Council. Could we be seeing some Blink Stalkers? We have a bit of an engagement. Sniper has the clear concave. Those Zealots coming in far too late, and they're behind the line of Stalkers.
But the upgrade advantage made the difference again. Sniper is not getting the upgrades he needed. With this 3-base Roach build, we first started seeing it in Wings of Liberty, but it was made really popular by Stefano. When you put down the Roach layer, you're supposed to put down 2 evolution chambers right on top of it in order to start doing your upgrades right away. Unfortunately, he just finished +1, so he's now working on +2, so we'll see how that happens. If that engagement had +1 for distance and armor, it would have been a very different engagement.
Angel now mixing Immortals, or at least one Immortal, into his army. Definitely very effective against Roaches.
The counterplay that Zerg should be doing, it's really kind of funny. Sniper had those Zerglings in play to counterattack last game, but they're not doing it this game. Sniper tried to burrow, but he did not realize that there was an observer out.
Very close melee.
This exchange, it's always good for Zerg if Zerg can trade armies. Zerg, because it's just larva, it doesn't need one building for each unit to come out. Zerg is able to rebuild faster than Terran or Protoss can, and as you can see, Zerg's population is already ahead again.
I feel if Angel had maybe waited for 1 or 2 more Immortals, things could have been a little different there.
Yes, I think Angel doesn't realize how even the situation was. And here comes a counterattack to the north middle, which is going to cause a cancel on the Nexus. And I don't know if these counterattacking Protoss forces are strong enough to effectively deal with this.
He does have his reinforcements coming in.
But once again, this was a very cost-effective exchange for Zerg.
Protoss now on 2-1 upgrades. Meanwhile, Sniper has expanded to the bottom right.
If you look at the units lost tab, it's 7,906 to 9,125. So Zerg is doing a better job of killing the expensive units, killing those Immortals. Angel is yet to have more than one Immortal in his main army, so he's doing a good job keeping that Protoss from getting what's called the Death Ball, when you have that huge Protoss army together.
Down goes that Mothership Core to those Hydralisks.
Yeah, and these Hydralisks are going to apply so much DPS that these Stalkers are just in a lot of trouble.
Would more Zealots in this army have helped against these Hydras?
Remember how I said Blizzard was looking and seeing what to do about the Hydra right now? These Hydras are, because what you just saw there, the Hydras ran away once the Roaches were all dead, so all Zerg really has to do is rebuild Roaches. This is very, very effective. The best way to deal with a Hydra is to flank it from behind. If he had, yeah, but it's very difficult for Protoss to do that without Blink. And surprising, Blink is research, so I'm not sure why he didn't blink in to get those Hydras. See what I mean? He's just sniping off every Immortal. This is so good.
He is sniper.
Now we've got a little roach play in the north just to apply more pressure. The population gap is really showing itself now. The Zerg is getting income off of 4 bases now. He's applying pressure to fourth.
And he knows that Angel really cannot afford to split up his army right now, so he's taking advantage of attacking on 2 fronts at once.
I think he might be overextending a little right now. This is a good. He's pulling away.
He's trying to take down that Nexus. Not sure I agree with that move.
He's going to get the snipe. He's going to get the snipe on the Nexus.
And he does it. Will he lose his army because of it, though?
These units back after getting the snipe on the Nexus. He's going to lose his army, but he's just going to rebuild it again.
Meanwhile, once again, still applying pressure to the other expansion. Just trying to shut Angel down everywhere. Sniper now working on building up 6 bases. His 6th is in production. If I said Angel there, I meant Sniper. Angel down to 3 bases. He managed to save that that 3rd.
But Angel is in the same problem that he was last game. He's now harvesting off 1 base that has minerals and 1 base that's running out. And now he's distance mining.
He now has 1 Colossus in the mix. That would be effective against those Hydras, but only 1. Not sure that it's going to make a difference.
Yeah. We'll see.
And the Infestors
now
are coming down.
Roach Infestor. So if he can get that Colossus.
The fungal, not the fungal, rather the neural.
He doesn't have neural parasite researched yet, but the fungals will be good enough. Fungals are weaker than they were in Wings of Liberty. They are very good at ball armies like what we're seeing here. The fungal growth is now a projectile. Avoid it with faster units. You've got your units all bunched up. Something's going to get hit by it.
Angel maintaining
I really
that
don't like the choice
upgrade advantage.
of going Infestors.
Well, do we think this is just Sniper once again getting cocky as we saw last game? Getting too comfortable with his lead and maybe showboating a little?
Well, he knows he's on camera, so he's probably making the most of it. We have an engagement in the middle that went actually very well for Protoss. Because Zerg is all over, but Zerg is now countering again at the just finished action.
And the Viper now in the army. Are we going to see an abduct on those Colossi? Several Vipers, in fact.
The Viper is a unit that you're probably not going to see a lot of beneath diamond level play. The amount of micromanagement it takes to utilize it effectively, it's a lot of work. So it's a great unit that we're going to see a lot of in elite play, but we're not going to see as much of it in regular laddering.
One thing that surprises me greatly right now is that the income is still fairly even, despite the tremendous base lead Sniper has.
It's because their harvesters are very even. And as long as Protoss is given a chance to get back up to 200, he's not out of this game. But he needs to be very careful with these engagements. He needs to be very careful with this pushing. Just like in the last game where he overextended a little bit when he pushed, will have to happen.
Angel now approaching that maxed army. We're starting to see the emergence of a Protoss death ball. But here come the Vipers. And the blink to get out.
That was a really good job. So as opposed to using the abduct, he really miscalculated there, and he has taken massive damage.
But as you said, once again remaxing almost instantly.
Yeah, but if you didn't kill the other army, it doesn't quite count. Protoss will kill this expansion and then should pull away.
Getting flanked though. Will he lose those Colossi?
He's doing a good job keeping them alive. And
wow.
There's the GG.
Sniper throwing up the GG after probably leading most of the game. Angel managed to stick with it, and
I believe I'm very disappointed in that choice of GG. Sniper was sitting on a ton of minerals, he had a ton of larvae, he could have rebuilt his army quickly. I'm not quite sure why he did that. But I wonder what map we're going to go with, and I wonder what we're going to see from Angel of Sin.
I have a feeling now we're going to see a very different Sniper. I believe we're going to see him play much more aggressively and in a much more cutthroat manner. He likes to win.
I'd just like to see Angel of Sin build us some Heart of the Swarm units.
So we're gonna have Sniper selecting the map. What type of map does Zerg wanna pick?
With Sniper's style of play, Sniper seems to really like flanks. He really likes to be able to grow up. So you're going to want to see a very open map with not just direct avenues of attack, but open areas to flank around. So we'll see what he does pick. I don't know how familiar he is with the current 1v1 map pool. They're all pulling from new maps just because it's fun. This new map pool wasn't even the same in the beta, so it's it'll be interesting to see what he does pick.
I wonder if we're going to see Angel stick with Protoss or perhaps switch back to Zerg. What was the reason he was not... because Zerg is his main race. What was the reason, again, he gave for not going Zerg?
I think he may have been hesitant to deal with a Zerg versus Zerg matchup. Mirror matches are very difficult, and generally we see people either love mirror matches or hate mirror matches. And Angel told us he really does not Zerg versus Zerg.
Well, that Protoss choice certainly paid off for him last game.
I will need an invite in just a second.
Seems our players are still deliberating over what map to select. But seems like it will be one of the new Heart of the Swarm maps. That much has been established.
Okay, can I have an invite, please?
You certainly can. Looks like they have selected Core Hall City.
Core Hall City? That was the one I was going to pick for them if they didn't choose.
Well, it seems Angel read your mind, as I believe Sniper allowed Angel to pick any of the new maps. Perhaps knowing that Angel will not be familiar with the new maps, whereas Sniper himself is. Once again, in this best of 3 series, the series is now tied 1-1 for both of our players, Sniper and Angel. This next match will be the deciding factor.
And we will be seeing a Zerg versus Zerg.
Fantastic. We'll get to observe both players playing at their best, on top of their games. Sniper will certainly not be messing around anymore. And Angel now playing his best race. Core Hall City seems superficially reminiscent of I forgot the name of the map, actually. But we have in the 12 o'clock position in the green trunks, Angel of Sin playing as his main race, Zerg. Whereas at the 3 o'clock position in the yellow trunks, playing as Zerg as well, Sniper.
If you look to the south of Sniper, to the 3rd or 4th expansion, just depending on how they go, you see something called a rock tower. The rock tower is an interesting new feature where if the rock tower is destroyed, it will fall over onto the expansion and do massive damage to it.
Blizzard has certainly gone creative with new map features for Heart of the Swarm. This is something we've never seen in Starcraft in, what, 12, 15 years?
Well, Dustin Browner's affinity for rocks is really shown through with this expansion.
And I thought I was a geologist. So do you think we're going to see Sniper once again go for his Roach and then into Hydra army composition? Or do you think we're going to see more Lings, more early aggression?
I think we'll see very quickly. We've got a pool first coming. No, he's expanding first. Sniper has taken the safe back expansion. This is a very nice expansion. And he's taking a fast gas, which means he is going to go heavy Zergling, Speedling push to get the maximum number of Speedlings out Alpha 2 bases.
And it appears Angel has also gone for that fast, safe expansion, but he is not getting the gas. He instead's going pool next, so what could Angel have planned?
Yeah, Angel's going to have an economic advantage, and depending on when he puts down this gas, it's really going to show us if he's going to go some type of tech play, or if he's just going to go economy, put down some spine crawlers, and then defend. Angel is taking a more passive position, where Sniper is really to create a knockout blow with these Speedlings.
Now this map actually strikes me as a Terran favorite map, given the Terran can wall up and then have 2 perfectly safe bases.
Terran or Protoss, anytime that you can safely get an expansion against a Zerg player with a minimal amount of effort, that's going to make the... So Angel has totally scouted this, so he should know what is coming. We have 1 gas geyser down for Angel now.
Sniper researching away the metabolic boost for his Speedlings. And popping out a Baneling nest. That's an interesting choice.
Okay, so he's going to go with the Speedling aggression and build some Banelings. Alright, so if Angel scouts this, he will know to go Roaches. If he doesn't scout this, this is going to be a lot of goo. Oh, and the Zerglings run away.
Sniper very effectively denying that scout.
Oh, he could have seen the nest.
Angel only now starting his own Zergling speed upgrade.
The economic advantage that Angel is having is going to be not going to help him in the face of banelings.
Seems Angel's already thinking about claiming that third. Sniper seems to be wanting to end this soon, would you say?
If Sniper doesn't end this soon, the economic advantage that Angel has is going to be bad for Sniper. And this, it's kind of funny. This would have been the first game where Angel actually had the economic advantage. Sniper has now shown the speedlings. He's scouting around to see exactly what he's up against. He did see the Roach Warren in development. I assume he got the information for it. But this Baneling build is going to be very poor against Roaches. And he's put down his own Roach Warren in response.
Angel presently does have a sizable Zergling army that can be melted by Banelings.
And here comes one Baneling.
Oh! All those
gigantic
Zerglings.
Baneling.
That Angel kicking himself right now.
It's okay, because Angel's got the roaches out first.
Oh no, free queen kill, that was unfortunate.
That was just a queuing error. He was going after the overhasted too far. And he's gonna kill another queen. And in come the Banelings. And there go the Banelings. Banelings are so terrible against roaches. 3 Banelings blew up on that roach and it was still alive.
I was about to ask, that was not an effective use of, cost-effective use of Banelings, was it?
Oh no, that was fantastic, because now the pressure is done for right now for Sniper.
So given those past 2 exchanges, who has come out on top right now?
Well, if you look at income, it's about even. Sniper now has a gas advantage. He's probably going to be teching in a different advantage, different direction. So Sniper was able to catch up on harvesters, and is now taking the harvester lead. Angel believes he's on the defensive, so he's not macroing anymore. And unfortunately, that's going to give Sniper a chance to respond. Units lost are almost identical in the resource value, so Angel doesn't realize he's not behind, but he's playing like he thinks he's behind.
Angel is expanding, though.
He just put down the expansion, but he's still focusing on units as opposed to harvesters.
Angel working on that creep spread, which actually I believe hurt him when those speedlings came in his base, which are all the faster on creep.
But now Sniper is supply capped, and Angel has a army advantage, a pretty hefty one. If he was to push now, given how many Banelings there are, he would actually do pretty well, given the roach composition. We've had no drone transfer yet, even though the expansion is completed.
Sniper trying to repeat his one Baneling success. This time Angel's on the ball.
I don't know why Angel is extending this far.
Sniper meanwhile putting down
transfer.
his own third.
Yeah.
What is the ideal
Sniper
number
is
of drones to transfer when you do transfer?
keep it about half and half is generally a good idea, and you would be transferring from the main since it's going to be mined out first. But as you see, Sniper has 16 workers on his main and 21 workers on his expansion. So he is working on optimal harvesting.
A few of those
got
lings
some
got by
drones.
to attack that expansion.
Yeah, but it'll get cleaned up, unfortunately. And now we have the main engagement, which Sniper is winning. But here come the reinforcements, and Sniper has to retreat now. It's the funny thing about ZVZ, you get an advantage from the attack, and then the reinforcements get there faster, and it's like, why did I even bother?
I believe it was Sniper's armor upgrade advantage over Angel that might have been the deciding factor in that matchup.
And the concave, it was very close, but it was enough. And now Sniper was able to bleed away those useless banelings and focus more on the roach composition like he needs. Good game sense there. Sniper stuck some roaches down at expansion. With this flank is going to try to come in. It's going to be able to shut this down very effectively.
Angel has the double Evo, but he has not been making use of it.
When you're focusing this much on offense, it's very hard to keep up with the little things sometimes. I think we've just established that Sniper does not spread creep. Because with 3 games, we've had none.
In ZVC, how important is creep spread, given it helps your opponent as well?
It helps your opponent, but you got to have vision. You have to know what's coming, and the faster you can know if something's coming, the faster you can respond to it. Zerg is a responsive race. Zerg doesn't really dictate the pace of the game. Zerg looks at what the other guy is doing and builds accordingly. So knowing what you're up to is so helpful.
And knowing is half the battle. What do you think of mixing in Hydras into this composition?
It's standard practice. You've got to add some Hydras for the extra DPS. They can shoot further than the Roach. It is a perfect combination. The Roaches tank, the Hydras do the damage, and then, and as we saw in the previous game, Hydras just run away after the Roaches are dead. Build more Roaches. Roaches cost a lot less than a Hydralisk, literally almost half.
Meanwhile, Sniper has his army positioned in a excellent concave right now. But Angel managing to break that. Still, those Hydras at the back not doing anything.
This was a mistake. Angel realizes it and is running his life. But Roaches are faster than Hydra.
And that's even with the speed upgrade?
Well, when they're on creep, they're almost the same speed. So it's like when mutas are chasing each other. And once again, we have the resupply causes Sniper to run away. Zerg versus Zerg.
Angel still maintaining the base advantage, though.
Yes, but the army advantage is getting worse. Oh yeah, this is... I don't see how Angel is going to come back from this.
Sniper also has the upgrade advantage, and there's the GG.
Yeah, the upgrade advantage is what made the difference in that game. Alright, excellent. Well, I need to go set up the tournament we've got, but I will be back in about 10 or 15 minutes.
Very well. I think then we'll take a 10 or 15 minute break, and then we'll come back for some show matches from that tournament. How does that sound?
Sounds fantastic. I'll see you then.
In fact, as we wait for Joe to return and for the next match to be set up, I'm thinking maybe we'll go through some of the new training features that Blizzard has included with Heart of the Swarm. I've never tried this before, so we'll see what happens here. Seems to be offering some very basic advice. Warp in more probes, always a great idea. New players, never stop making probes is one fundamental piece of advice. You stop making probes once you hit about 60 to 70, but generally, always remember to always have a probe in production. We'll be making my pylon at 9 supply. Gonna make it here to block off my ramp. Not sure what race I'm up against, but in case it's a Zerg, don't want him slipping into my base. And I could have sent a 9 scout, but I know exactly where the enemy is, so I'll send out my scout at 12 supply after I drop my gateway. We'll be chronoing out probes now. Chrono boost speeds up the production. Warp in a gateway, great advice, that's what I planned on doing. And now sending out my probe to scout. Continuing probe production, I'll be dropping my assimilator at 14. And that's exactly what the game recommended. Not sure what build order the objectives are proposing. I was sort of planning on a 3-gate robo. Don't remember the exact build order, more of a 4-gate kind of guy, but... My enemy is Terran. He's got his barracks going. Does he have any gas yet? He does. Gas always means tech. Since it's Terran, not super important to wall anymore, but... It's asking me to create zealots, so let's do that. This slow game speed really throwing me off. Gonna get warp gate tech going, and get that second zealot on the way.
You have not enough minerals. You must construct additional pylons.
Just want to scout his expansion timing.
My life for ire. By your will.
Oh, this actually won't allow me to build advanced structures. Alright. Had I known that, I would have gone 4-gate.
You have not enough minerals. Justice be done.
Looks like he's sending out an SCV to scout me.
I am here in the shadows. State.
Okay, Volcor, I am back.
Welcome back. Do we have a match that we can cast?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. I was just going through the training. Seems Blizzard has done a decent job of making new player introductory, hold my hand and walk me through what I need to do in a game type of mission. But we'll just quit out of that.
I know a lot of people look at it that way, but honestly, I would say that there are even platinum players that use from the help with it, especially the reminders. Okay, you need to build this. Okay, you need to do this. You see all those players that get supply blocked all the time. This training really helps you with it. So I hope that most players take advantage of it and utilize it because it really is a helpful tool, and don't shy away from it because they think it's just for newer players.
Oh yeah, I apologize if I sounded sarcastic when I was saying that. I I actually like all the new tools that Blizzard has included in Heart of the Swarm to sort of uh, bring new players or lower skilled players or more casual players into the game.
NCG, you're not in Starcraft.
So it looks like this matchup will be between Unrated and NCG, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We're just waiting on NCG. He got disconnected, unfortunately.
Whereas NCG, Silver, 1v1 as well. So this should be a fairly even matchup. Once again, all players from tonight's matchup are from the clan matchups rather are from Clan Ta, TAW, the Art of Warfare. Joe, what can you tell us about Clan Ta?
Clan Taw has been around since 1991. It started as mainly a first-person shooter clan, and has really branched out into a whole bunch of different things. It is one of the larger, I almost call it a Zerg clan. It's got over 2,300 members currently, so it is a huge clan. If you play MMOs, if you play shooters, if you play RTS, if you play MOBAs, Clan Taw probably has a division of it. Okay, we're going to have Cloud Kingdom.
Cloud Kingdom. Was that a Blizzard map? I know that was in Wings of Liberty, but I'm not sure if that was made by Blizzard.
Cloud Kingdom was actually a map created in Wings of Liberty in a Team Liquid contest. Team Liquid is the largest non-Korean Starcraft community. And Cloud Kingdom, the map was so popular that Blizzard adapted it into its map settings.
Certainly a favorite among many players. Looks like our players here are ready, and we will be loading into the game. Unrated playing as random.
Yes. The biggest thing you'll see with random players is they tend to go for a very specific type of early aggression or early tech path. You're almost always likely to be attacked quickly by a random player. So if you're ever laddering, if you're ever playing out there, and you see a random player, expect to be cheesed. Now, hopefully Unrated won't do that. He'll give us a solid game, but we'll just see. It's his choice. Anything goes in StarCraft.
And in the top right corner, we have Unrated in the red trunks has spawned in as Terran, while his opponent in the orange trunks in the bottom left corner, NCG, playing as Zerg. Now, is this tournament a best of 3?
This tournament is a single game in a Swiss system. So basically, there are no eliminations. Everybody gets to play. And as the evening goes on, the people you play against are more commiserate with your, not so much your ladder level, but how you're playing that night. So if you're playing really well, you're going to play against people who may be a higher ladder rank than you. If you're playing kind of poorly, you may be playing against people with a lower ladder rank than you. But the idea is to give everybody competitive, fun games for the whole evening.
And it's my understanding that this tournament is being hosted by TA?
Yes, this is one of the TA weekly tournaments as part of their practice schedule. Their Art of Warfare community page, the community group in StarCraft, the Art of Warfare community, has the schedule for, I believe, the next 30 days up all the time. Yet, so we're not going to see any type of Reaper pressure by Terran. Really disappointing. That is very strong, but people aren't used to the new units yet, unfortunately.
I remember Reapers being a deadly part of the metagame back in beta of Wings of Liberty and a little bit past launch, but they sort of faded away. Is this the new regenerative powers they have? Has that brought Reapers back?
Reapers were initially very, very strong, and the reason was you did not have to build a supply depot before you could build a barracks. So you were generally getting Reapers out, and all Zerg had were Zerglings, and Zerglings versus Reapers is not a pretty sight. So once that was changed, the Reaper is a very weak unit. It really had no purpose beyond the early game. So Blizzard wanted to find a way to bring them back in, and by changing things up a lot, Reapers no longer get bonus damage to light, but you no longer require a tech lab, so you're getting the Reapers out earlier again, but you don't have that massive damage to the mineral line. So they're still a good harassing unit, but most importantly, they're a good scouting unit. They're faster than just about everything. Used to be an upgrade to give them speed. They come built in with that. And like you mentioned, they have their regeneration as well, so if they go in there and scout and get hurt, they can go right back in and be fine.
Now, are we about to see a...
Put down...
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, NCG put down 2 gases. 2 gases by Zerg generally means some type of tech. These are lower level players, so I'm not sure if we're actually going to see that. As you see, he doesn't even have all of the harvesters in the gas, so I'm not quite sure what he's going. We'll just have to see.
And that expansion timing for Unrated, would you say that's a little early for a Terran?
Two racks expand. It's a safe versus Zerg, because basically what you're going to see happen is if Zerg comes with pressure, you're just going to float that command center right back to your base and hold from the high ground. But it gives you the ability to defend yourself, apply pressure if you scout it, but Unrated doesn't seem to be getting any type of pressure play. Given the gas that he's putting down and everything else, I think we're going to see probably some straight bio play. We'll just see when the factories go down. Is he putting a factory down first, or is he putting down additional barracks? If he's putting down additional barracks, we're going to see some straight bio play. If he puts down the factory, we're going to see something else.
Very impressed
And
with the
the
new death
Zergling pressure-
animations.
Yes, they're kind of grotesque. You don't see that in the Chinese version of Starcraft, however.
And here come the Lings.
Marines are going to clean up these Lings pretty effectively.
I believe I saw one Marine go down, maybe two. Units lost, 100 resources, so yeah, that was 2 Marines lost. Or perhaps a Marine and an SCV earlier that we might not have seen.
There was a scout that was lost when Terran scouted Zerg before he put down the expansion. Once Terran scouted Zerg, he put down the expansion because he realized he was going to be pretty safe.
Right now, Unrated pushing out with those Marines. Is that a wise decision, given those Lings can run by?
He's got 4 barracks, 3 barracks completed, 1 in production. He is going to try to end this quickly, just like, unfortunately, all random players do. But once he's going to be spitting out a lot of Marines, a couple Marauders. Stim is almost done. We've got about 60 in-game seconds left to go before Stim is done.
Oh, and those Lings won't even see this coming.
Yeah, this push at about 9 minutes and 30 seconds is going to be devastating.
And notice NCG has this Overlord in a very, very smart place. It seems Unrated either doesn't see it or can't attack it.
He can't attack it because he's over the rocks, and on this particular map, the Terran has gotten in the habit of building a barracks right by that position, and then lifting the barracks up and shooting down the Overlord. If you are playing against a Zerg on this map, there is always an Overlord there. And that's interesting. Terran decided to push and then has changed his mind and turned around. I guess he thought that Zergling army was bigger than it actually was.
I think for a moment there we were seeing Unrated had about double the supply of NCG.
Yeah, and Stim was completed. This push would have ended the game. I'm not quite sure. I think he's just being extra cautious. He's not sure how big that Zergling army is. He got scared off by it on the edge.
And now that those roaches are up, what does that mean for this this plan of Unrated's?
Well, this push would still work now, but he's look, he's going to attack the third probably. He's moving around. Then he's going to come up this ramp and he's going to check and see if the third is there. He's just being very, very cautious. And now Zerg is pushing out. And Zerg did not control the watchtower, so Unrated is seeing this, and now he's taking the watchtower. So Unrated is running back to deal with it. He will probably push into the natural expansion Zerg while defending with his new made units, once he knows for sure that Zerg is engaging him. And here comes the push, and here comes the reaction. And Zerg has no units at home.
And Zerg does not want to base race a Terran.
This wouldn't even be a base race. The Zerg troops aren't going to be able to get through the Terran defenses at home, and he now is down to one base.
Looks like Zerg has 14 roaches ready to pop in his main. Will that be able to fight off this this Terran army?
Yes, that will be able to stop this army, but the damage has been done. And oh no, the roach is queued in the wrong direction, so they will be split up. These roaches will not handle this army. He's losing his queen. Oh, the queen is down. Yeah. Unrated has done everything he needs to do with this bush. Zerg has basically no larva now. Without a queen to spit larva, and without an expansion to give him larva, he's going to have a lot of trouble spending his resources. And now Terran has Medivacs out and can just push right in. Terran knows he's ahead on bases. Terran knows he got the queen. He can just push in and win the game.
Now, was NCG pushing out there for one final hoorah, or did he really think that he might be able to counter and deal some damage to the Terran?
Well, one of the things that you see a lot in bronze level games is that people, when they're in combat, when they're doing things, they don't remember to keep building units at home. They don't remember to keep doing things at home. So, in a lot of cases, if you can beat off an attack and you push back, person wasn't building units because they were so focused on the attack. So, he was just poking to see what happens. I don't know if NCG quite realizes how behind he is, though.
The income difference is staggering. We're seeing about 3 to 4 times the difference in income between unrated and NCG.
And now Zerg is going for Aspire, so he's still trying. He's still trying to stay in it. But I think it's just evidence that he is not aware of how behind he is, unfortunately. Unrated is about to let him know that. Unrated's probably going to push here at about 15:30. He'll be engaging.
NCG trying to get that expo back up. Bad timing.
He was scanning to make sure there's no expansion, and then there's GG.
A valiant effort from NCG, but it seems that Unrated's early aggression, I believe it was, won him the game.
This is the important rule of thumb. If you're playing a random player, you're going to be attacked early. Just be prepared for it. Just scout it. You might happen 1 in 10 times that you're not going to get that. The reason why random players are going to attack you early is you play a race. Every game you play, you learn a little bit more. You learn a little bit something else. You're going to get better. You're going to improve. A random player, if they're playing the same number of games as you, they're only getting exposure to each race a third as much. They're not going to know as much. They're not going to have as many games go long. So because of that, they've got to come up with techniques and attacks that they can rely on, and those tend to be early aggression. So it's not that they're all a bunch of cheesies. It's just that they have a much greater difficulty curve to deal with. When you see a random player, always expect early aggression. Well, I want to thank you for having me tonight, Riker. It was very fun casting these games with you, and thanks for the opportunity. I'm going to go continue this tournament, and you have a great evening.
Likewise, Joe, it was a pleasure having you, and that'll probably be our last game of the night. Again, we tend to stream for about 2 hours, and now we don't know if we'd be able to squeeze in another game, so just a quick reminder about our contest again. Free Gamefront t-shirt tonight. Tomorrow, our last day of streaming will be our main prize. Free copy of Starcraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition. And for your chance to win a prize tonight, just create a unit quote. Anytime you click on a unit, he says something interesting slash funny slash well, random, and give us something. Tell us what unit it comes from, and we'll pick our favorite. Send you a T-shirt. We'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, like, comment, and subscribe to the videos, and head over to gamefront.com where you can read gaming news, reviews, editorials, and all sorts of gaming coverage. Until tomorrow night.